Blame Truth here, and what you're seeing is Modern Warfare 3 OG gameplay. 2011, recorded off of my Xbox 360, and this is relevant because this is the last good Call of Duty video game that Infinity Ward ever made. Straight up. They haven't made a good Call of Duty game since this one. And this was like half Sledgehammer, half Infinity Ward. So does it technically even count? I don't know, but I'm counting it. Now, usually I ask you guys to comment on this video and rate it and like it and all that stuff because it helps it push it out into the algorithm. And yes, I do want you to do that, but I want you to do something else. I want you to do me a solid and favorite this video. Add this video to your favorites and come back to it in exactly 1 year. Set a reminder or something, I don't know, but come back to it in exactly 1 year's time and let me know if I was right about this video, okay? But in this video, I want to talk about Modern Warfare 2019, which is just making headway, it's making the rounds or whatever. Me personally, I would rather drag my nutsack across broken glass while being chased by a pack of hungry hyenas in the savannah desert than ever play Joseph's Wet Dream again. Now, I don't want to lose you guys who like the game. I understand why people like it. The game, animation-wise, is fantastic. The engine is phenomenal. I mean, the visuals, the gunplay, everything about the game, how it feels as a shooter is good. My complaints have nothing to do with that. In fact, I would go so far as to say, just so you know I'm not a blind hater here, I would go so far as to say that Modern Warfare 2019 is the best, one of the best feeling and looking FPSs ever made. I stand by that. It is the video game equivalent of the most beautiful woman you have ever seen, but she has AIDS, herpes, gonorrhea, and some other disease that's yet to be named. Also, she has an IQ of 48 and will bite your dick off if you insult Taylor Swift. So yeah, great looking and feeling game. My issue has nothing to do with those things though. My issue or issues with the game is everything else. And in this video, I just want to keep it kind of short and I want to go over every single facet about Modern Warfare 2019 that maybe you have forgotten, because from what I'm seeing across the board, we have forgotten a lot. Now, some people like the game, some people love the game. You are allowed to have that opinion, whereas I am allowed to have my opinion that it's just utter tripe. I think there is a worse Call of Duty overall than it, though. I do think that Black Ops 6 is actually worse, but that's about it, and that's me being very nice. You know, I think that game is just brain rot, the video game, so I will give MW 2019 that. And I do think MW 2019 has better gunplay, better visuals. It's just a better game overall from an FPS standpoint, like as far as the core gameplay goes. Again, I'm not blindly hating. I'm not. But I do need to remind you, maybe the people that look back on it that kind of hated it, but also kind of liked it, maybe you just need a reminder. So let me, let me give you Exhibit A here, all right? I think it's best just to lead off with this because this series of tweets here, these two tweets, were so bad. The person on top basically just ceased all contact with the community because there was so much backlash. And really, who could blame the community because they're being told two different things by the same dev team, okay? So let's read the top one. Ashton says, finalizing notes for the big update you all keep asking about. Look at that, nearly 10,000 likes at the time of this screenshot. Notes are a little over 2 pages long. Lots of good stuff in here. Wow, that sounds like a big update. This update was rumored to be, by some leakers in the community, that it was rumored to be a complete overhaul of the Modern Warfare 19 experience multiplayer-wise. It was gonna walk back all the stupid fucking bullshit, basically, that they added in, like no red dots on the minimap, and like revenge spawn systems, and add prestige mode, and basically all the things they changed that no one wanted changed. And then Joseph came out a couple weeks later saying overhaul was a fake statement to get attention. We are constantly updating the game at least once a week, sometimes twice. Season 1 incoming, also bye. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to show you more after a brief word from this video's sponsor, FlyDigi. They were kind enough to give me their new Vader 5S controller. It's their first official licensed Xbox controller, but it can be used on PC as well, which is what I will be doing. Some key features of it is it has Force Flex lever joysticks with new Hall effect sticks. No stick drift, you don't have to worry about that. 4 switch triggers, analog and a micro switch, 8 additional buttons with full remapping, and 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which I am personally happy for, so I can try out the new awful Call of Duty game for free. I've been using FlyDigi's Apex controller since X Defiant was a thing, and it's the best controller for FPS I personally ever used, and this Vader 5S is even better. Hit up my link in the video description or the pinned comment to get yours during the spring sale from March 25th to March 31st. Back to the video. So guys, Infinity Ward, it's common knowledge that they are responsible for skill-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking in the Call of Duty franchise as we know it from 2019 onward. The system that has pretty much killed the game entirely. Modern Warfare 2, the 2022 Electric Boogaloo, its Dorban Time variant, sold really well, but I think it lost so many players. It was only topped by Black Ops 6 for the rapid player count decline because it was a giant piece of fucking shit. If you look at Modern Warfare 2019 and you say, hey, I like that game, look at what it's sandwiched between. It's sandwiched between Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, probably the most hated Call of Duty game of all time, and Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 up there with one of the most hated Call of Duty games of all time. Let's not forget Call of Duty Ghosts, by the way. Let's not forget another giant piece of shit that ended the streak of good games, and it came right after Black Ops 2 that really rubbed salt into the wound. So let's just rapid fire off some stuff here that Infinity Ward has done, because again, I don't want to make this video too long. I kind of want to make this pretty easy to digest even for the normies out there. So normie, you're welcome. This right here was one of the top posts of all time on the Modern Warfare subreddit. It says, Infinity Ward, speak to us. We're the reason your company exists. Without a loyal fan base that comes back every year, you'd have nothing. Why aren't you talking to us? Why aren't you talking about map voting? Yeah, that was removed. Why? Because fuck us, that's why. Why aren't you talking about lobbies disbanding? Because it messes with the SBMM system. I'm just adding in my commentary, by the way, if you're listening to the car, sorry. These are all rhetorical questions that are not going to get answered. Why aren't you talking about dead silence? Why aren't you talking about SBMM? Why aren't you talking about the constant PC crashes that make the game literally unplayable? Why aren't you talking about changing the amount of XP it takes to level up? Why aren't you talking about how the battle pass works, saying just play the game does not tell us how the system works? Is it time-based? Time-based plus time played? Why do you let us guess? You said during the beta you wanted to prove to everyone that you'll be vocal throughout the game's life cycle. You told us you'd smash that comment. Now you're saying you'd rather stay away from talking on social media and spend your time working on the game. I'm tired of the fake promises. Guy 6 years ago, this is called a fucking lie, and they've done this constantly. He goes on to say, you guys teased us with the beta. Now what? Now that you have your money, you just abandon communication? And then at the bottom there, he edits in, saying thank you for the Reddit gold and platinum and silver. And he ats the mime and says, please respond. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Let's go over some of the other top comments on that subreddit before I get into the other sins of Infinity Ward. This is just gameplay related. That was more like, hey, these people are fucking liars, don't trust them. But this is mostly gameplay related, what I'm about to show you. So let's roll the fucking footage and I'll just read off the titles of the threads. I've taken a lot of this game's bullshit, but this was the final straw. Remember when COD would poke fun at noobs instead of designing the entire game around protecting them? I was killed 4 times in a single play of the game. Matchmaking in 2020, and it's a meme about getting a 1.5 KD, and then the next 10 games, you get shit on. You can't deny it. COD players in 2009, I rush and get quickscope nukes on a daily basis. COD players in 2020, no, please don't leave the door open, with a fucking door and a claymore behind it and the 725 shotgun. Campers at the beginning of every match, another meme making fun of how campy and slow and awful the game is. And then this bit right here, which I recorded, it's that classic meme of the guy speaking another language and laughing, you know, grotesquely, and they add in a bunch of stuff that he's not actually saying. But either way, it's just a colossal failure of a game. And I understand that some people liked it. A lot of people came back to the franchise after ditching it for a long time. And I'm gonna say something that might surprise you, but I understand. I am on your side here, because I realized that the game didn't start dying at Modern Warfare 2019. The game started dying with Call of Duty Ghosts, which was another fucking Infinity Ward game. And originally, I'm not kidding with any of this, this is like some pretty factual leaks that verified this, but originally, Modern Warfare 2019 was titled Ghosts 2. But they didn't want to make a Ghost 2 because the original was such a colossal fucking failure. So they just called it Modern Warfare 2019 and changed the campaign. There you go. Regardless though, it gets worse because they can't just stay in their lane. You know, if MW 2019 came out and it was just a colossal piece of goat shit for 1 year and then we went back to normal, that would be fine. But this game, and people aren't like out of touch here saying this game literally caused every single Call of Duty after it to just have to walk back terrible decisions gradually. Like, every single game that came after, whether it was Treyarch or Sledgehammer, got fucked over by the decisions of this awful Modern Warfare game by Infinity Ward. I mean, it's undeniable. I mean, we've had doors make their return in games where they should never even be a factor, like Black Ops 6. Tac sprints come back several times. Again, that should never be a factor. It's an unneeded, unwanted mess. Doors, tac sprint, no red dots on the minimap. I think that was a thing in Vanguard. Dead silence being a field upgrade came back. Map voting not being a thing came back. Lobbies disbanding came back. And the worst offender of all, skill-based matchmaking, is still a fucking problem, even when they quote-unquote lessened it with Black Ops 7 by force, by the way, because the game sold like shit. So they had to do something, but then they lied about it and walked that back. And do you see the pattern here? Do you get what I'm saying with this? But wait, it gets worse, because not only are they indirectly causing all these issues, they directly sabotage Sledgehammer. It's from the past, but it's shocking. Check this out. Charlie Intel tweeted this a couple years back when MW3 was new. He said, corroborating Bloomberg's report, several sources tell Charlie Intel one of the changes Infinity Ward made to Sledgehammer Games' Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer was removing a Pick-10 loadout system. The new system is a morphed version of what it once was. Absolutely everyone that I know that's a Call of Duty fan loves the Pick-10 system. Infinity Ward caused them not to put it into Modern Warfare 3, which would have, without a doubt, pretty much cemented it as the best Call of Duty in this era, I think. I think that would have been the thing that pushed it above Cold War even. There was also an instance where an ex-Sledgehammer Games employee came to my comments section and just absolutely railed Infinity Ward. They blamed them for so many issues. This was a thing that legitimately happened, and then this guy changed his name, and I think he deleted the comment because, well, it was real. But basically, he went on to say, after glazing Sledgehammer Games a little bit, he says, unfortunately, Sledgehammer Games are stuck under the thumb of Infinity Ward, who say they had to make/clone an IW game that they literally weren't even allowed to add clan support and promote team play at all. IW fired most of Sledgehammer's staff, including the entire anti-cheat team, when MW2 released. I think IW were behind Ricochet in that colossal failure as well, in order to implement IW's AI-based anti-cheat, yep, there you go, that absolutely does nothing but favors cheaters and report spammers. I can't stand Infinity Ward and was given a huge fuck you for being good when our team got canned. Their entire team is full of woke social justice warriors who hate guns to begin with, and this is true because I covered a leaked Slack chat when Orange Man won the presidency. The Slack chat at Infinity Ward was like, they were talking about shooting us, basically. I'm not kidding with that. Regardless, they are so anti-American, anti-2A, anti-1A, hate the Constitution. Most of the employees hate COD, period, and everything that it stands for, and they jump in line, bending at the knee with anything to do with the woke agenda coming from the ultra-far-left cult. Now, we're getting a little political here. I'm not trying to do that, but this is just what this guy's saying. He says, to bring political agenda of any kind into the workspace, especially into a video game and the development studios, is absolutely disgusting, and I agree with that as more of a centrist. IW was thick with it, and I would have been just as upset if they pushed a far-right narrative. Amen. Yes, it doesn't belong in video games, period. That's all I have to say for now. However, I could go on for hours as to why I know for a fact that IW is purposely trying to destroy Call of Duty. They desperately want to move on to a new video game so they can push their views onto their customers. That last part's a very bold claim, but with what I've seen Infinity Ward do over the past several years, I wouldn't doubt it. I really would not doubt it. It seems like they get special treatment by Activision to do whatever the fuck they want, and in return, they just make the game dog shit for some reason. Now, with all that said, maybe you're still not convinced, so I'm gonna play a clip from Joseph himself with Modern Warfare 2019. And I've played this before, and I've covered that last comment before from the Sledgehammer Games dev, but it needs to be repeated because clearly people's attention spans and memories just are not there. So I am going to leave you with this. Let's roll the footage. Just listen closely. Joseph is going to take over, and he's going to tell you about Modern Warfare 2019. Unfortunately, no one really listened.
Is the balanced matchmaking a priority for Modern Warfare?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the things we really want to do with this game is we want to get new players in the game, and we want them to kind of like, we don't want them to just get punched in the mouth over and over again until they leave. We want a healthy ecosystem. We want a lot of players in and having fun, and that's a big focus for us. It's a big focus for us in weapon design. It's a big focus for us in level design. Our weapons are a bit more lethal than they were in the Black Ops, the recent Black Ops, and that helps a lower skill player get a kill when they otherwise wouldn't, have some success, and then feel like now there's a desire to get better and to get another kill. Our maps are a little bit more porous, and we want those players to have a safe place to take their time, to learn how to turn and move and then shoot, put those pieces together, and then they see someone and be like, oh, okay, now I can do this. Yeah, it's a big focus for us.
But that approach that you're describing there isn't going to come at the expense of the hardcore players, right?
That's not the plan, right? But we want to make sure that we don't want someone who's, how to say this, lower skill to have a bad experience. We want someone who's higher skill to have a bad experience.
I mean, the man said it right there. He made the game with bad players in mind, and the entire system from 2019 on has been to gaslight little Timmy, making him think he's good at the game so that they could sell him bundles. That's essentially it. Modern Warfare 2019 was a game designed from the ground up for terrible FPS players. Any game that is designed for bad players and that punishes anyone who gets better at it is a failure of a game. It breaks the fucking laws of what a game is. I'm out of time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, drop a like on it and subscribe, and again, favorite it, and come back to this video in 1 year and let me know. Peace.